I'm gonna invite Nisha to present her talk now.
So I'm Nisha, good to meet all of you and lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on and share my experiences of digital transformation. There's a little bit about me here. I'm a delivery consultant. I started off in tech as a business analyst. Gosh, I'm giving my age away now, but it was when the Nokia 3210 phone was out and I had that little brick as my company phone. But I've been lucky and very, very fortunate to work with some great teams to coach them to realize their goals and organizations' goals as well. So yeah, I have moved from business analysis to project management, program management, and have now loving my time as an agile coach. Worked on a lot of digital transformation projects and digital transformation projects and programs. They have been around for a long time. What is not digital right now? Everything seems to be digital. What's special about the times that we live in now is that we have a lot of that volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity, in that we're not really sure oftentimes how to plot our way forward in terms of the products or the changes we might be working on within organizations to be able to react to the market. And that is why, in the haste to respond to that, I believe sometimes we forget the most important ingredient, and that is people. So there's so many definitions of digital transformation around. This one from CIO really struck a chord because it talks about how technology is actually that enabler for people, processes, and it's an enabler for us to start imagining and realizing what is possible in terms of the new business models. So people, it starts with people, and people are the main vehicle behind that shift in mindset. I always start, ever since the pandemic, I've started to look out for kind of different business models out there, because it's interesting to me how businesses actually have reacted to it. It's normally, if you're working within an organization, yes, you'll get the organizational view. What the pandemic has done is opened out loads of these stories for us so we can actually see how organizations are reacting to it. For example, Red Roof, right? That's a motel hotel chain in the US, and they had a under one roof campaign. So anyone that wanted to work from home but did not have either the space at home to work from home was able to go out, have a day, using a day rate, hire a hotel room and make that happen for themselves. And we're able to get some space, get some mind space, and work from home. All of you that are fans of the Great British Bake Off will like Bake with a Legend. So what they did over the pandemic was that they got the stars of the Great British Bake Off to have online sessions. So you could book online baking sessions with them live from their kitchens. My sister is a great British Bake Off fan, so she was a big fan of that. So this example actually shows how these companies have not held on tight to what's currently working. They've not just said, okay, we're doing fine, let's carry on in the same way. They've thought, well, how can we actually evolve within this climate? Which brings me on to the mindset that you need to have. People going through digital transformation, organizations going through this journey often come across mixtures of these types of either sentiments, stances, the classic fixed mindset, growth mindset. But as someone that's involved in delivery and in the agile space, what can that actually feel like? How does it feel to be in that space? And often it can feel like you're going against the grain if there is a fixed mindset, a fear of failure, or more like Meenakshi was talking about earlier on in the session, a more output driven approach rather than, let's focus on the good outcomes that we need. Let's ask ourselves, what is the market demanding from us, right? How can we involve everyone across the organization to come up with the best ideas. How can we be inclusive about this? And how can we find that bravery and that courage to release quickly and improve quickly, right? So sometimes it can feel like you are going against the grain, and it might make you feel like, okay, so you know what, why bother, right? But if you do find that in your organization, my advice would be to look for areas where you can make that difference. There may be smaller, there may be champions on a smaller scale, but you could affect change in smaller areas, and look for those. That's what I found works definitely in my approach. The mindset shift can only be brought about by a cultural shift. So I'll give you an example. And again, this quote made me remember what it was like to join a legal services company. I accepted a contract with a legal services company. I hadn't used Scrum ever in my life. I was a heavily, waterfall project manager, program manager. However, the culture that was fostered within that organization was very welcoming. They understood where my mindset was and were willing to work with it. They didn't think of Agile as an exclusive club, the nudge, nudge, wink, wink, if you know kind of attitude. They took me on board, which was great. I helped explain to me what their drivers, what they were, striving towards in terms of their legal product releases and what they wanted out of it. That made all the difference, and it helped me and inspired me to start my Scrum practice. Culture comes from somewhere and is set by somewhere, right? And that's the leadership. So again, these are some great kind of traits that I've actually seen in leaders that I've come across in the organizations that I've worked with. They don't sit on the sidelines. They're not a spectator. They drive, they actively look for those processes, the technology, the ways of working, the automation. They will make sure that they bleed out into other companies within the sector to make sure that they understand what's being used and the good practices. They have a learning mindset themselves, and they also have compassion and empathy, not just for themselves, but for others who are coming along in the journey, knowing that it's not going to be an easy thing. I mean, John Cotter says something like it takes 3 to 5 years to make an effective cultural change. So they have to have that empathy and that compassion, but that drive to be able to know that they are in for the marathon, really. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me. If you want to know any more about what I've experienced and what I've seen works in this space, feel free to get in touch over LinkedIn. Thank you.